The story of the blind men and the elephant. 1. The king and the lesson of truth. Long ago, in an ancient Indian kingdom, there lived a wise king who loved truth and wisdom. He often invited philosophers, scholars, and ascetics to his palace to discuss life and the universe. But he realized that each person clung to their own opinions, arguing endlessly. Everyone believed they were right and that others were wrong. One day, the king thought, if people only hold on to a small part of the truth, conflict will surely arise. I must teach them a simple but profound lesson. After some thought, he came up with an idea. In the royal stables, there was a herd of elephants, powerful, majestic animals. The king ordered that a group of blind men from the city be brought to the palace for an unusual experiment. 2. The blind men meet the elephant. The blind men had never seen light since birth. They had no idea what objects looked like, let alone an elephant. The king said kindly, "Today, you will see with your hands. Here stands an elephant. Touch it, and tell me what an elephant is like." Excited, they each reached out to the elephant. The first man happened to touch the ear, wide and thin, gently flapping. He exclaimed, "Ah, the elephant is like a large fan." The second man touched the tusk, smooth, hard, and sharp, and said firmly, "No, no. The elephant is like a spear." The third man wrapped his arms around a leg, solid and round, and laughed, "You're both wrong. The elephant is like a pillar." The fourth man grabbed the tail, rough and thin, and declared, "Rubbish. The elephant is nothing but a rope." The fifth man touched the belly, broad and flat, and insisted, "Nonsense. The elephant is like a great wall." And so, each had a different description. 3. The heated argument. At first, they laughed. But soon, each was convinced he alone was right. They raised their voices, arguing fiercely, "It's a wall." "No, it's a pillar." "You fools. It's clearly a spear." The quarrel grew louder and louder, until chaos filled the court. The king and his ministers watched quietly, shaking their heads. 4. The king explains. Finally, the king spoke gently, "My friends, each of you touched only a part of the elephant. One says it is a fan, another a spear, another a pillar. None of you is completely wrong, but none of you is completely right either. You only know a fragment, not the whole." The blind men fell silent. The king continued, "Truth is like the elephant. If a person clings to only one small part, believing it to be the whole, disputes and suffering will arise. The wise do not rush to claim absolute truth. They listen, observe from many angles, and gradually approach the whole reality." The blind men bowed their heads, realizing their mistake. 5. The Buddha's teaching. Later, the Buddha used this very story to teach his disciples. In his time, different sects and teachers argued over doctrines and philosophies. The Buddha said, "Each view is like the blind men and the elephant. They see only a fragment of reality. If one clings tightly to such partial views, conflict will follow. Only by letting go of attachment and cultivating wisdom and compassion can one draw near to ultimate truth."